Amidst the endless expanse of ice, the polar bear emerges, weighing over 1,200 pounds and possessing a powerful predatory instinct. Each step it takes is slow, but holds the potential for explosive action at any moment. Thanks to its keen sense of smell, it can detect prey from afar and patiently wait for the precise moment to strike. In an instant, the power of the king of the ice is clearly demonstrated, quick, decisive, and resolute. On the snow-covered plains, a herd of caribou is traveling thousands of kilometers each year. Their thick fur and large claws help them balance on the snow, while their stamina allows them to run at high speeds to avoid predators. With the lack of seals, polar bears are forced to turn to other options. A male bear spots a caribou herd from afar and begins closing the gap. He can run nearly 40 kilometers per hour and swim dozens of kilometers, making his hunting tactics much more agile than his slow appearance suggests. The bear targets a cub that has lagged behind the herd. With just a few acceleration steps, he charges forward and delivers a powerful front paw strike, leaving the caribou no time to escape. As the bear stood over the carcass, breathing evenly in the cold wind, the brief hunt revealed an astonishing flexibility. When the seas ran dry of food, polar bears adapted to survive. In the thick fog that covers the sea ice, a herd of walruses huddles close together. Each weighs nearly 1,500 kilograms, has 6 inches of fat, and skin so tough that predators' claws are almost useless. Their tusks, up to 3 feet long, form a living wall of defense when they gather in groups. A male polar bear slowly approaches. He knows. A single adult walrus can provide enough energy to keep him going for weeks. But he also knows this is the most dangerous target in this frozen world. The bear chooses a female who is protecting her calf. He tries to approach from behind, avoiding direct contact with the sharp tusks. But when he attacks, the walrus's thick hide does not budge. The walruses immediately formed a circle, then retreated en masse into the sea, where they had an absolute advantage. In a moment of chaos, the bear pounced on a slow-footed individual. But the walrus's enormous weight dragged the bear across the ice. In just a few seconds, the prey escaped into the deep water, where it could not pursue. The bear stood still, breathing heavily. The moment of hunting passed quickly. The benefits were too great, but the risks were too high. With walruses, the odds were usually in the bear's favor, and this hunt ended in failure. In a deserted camp near the coast, sled dogs stand in a circle, their thick double coats so cold-resistant that they can withstand temperatures below -60 degrees Celsius. Their keen sense of smell helps them detect the presence of bears from afar, and they immediately become alert, coordinating in groups to keep the area safe. hungry polar bear enters the human settlement, attracted by the smell of food. The dogs rush around it, barking loudly to prevent the bear from going further. They are brave and agile, but the opponent in front of them has superior strength. The bear only needs one strong swing of its leg. The surprise attack breaks the defensive circle. The remaining dogs are forced to retreat, continuing to bark warnings, but cannot prevent the bear from reaching the food source. In the moment the snow dust fell, the difference was clear. Despite its bravery and loyalty, the Arctic dog was outmatched by the bear's sheer strength, and the confrontation was over in seconds. At the foot of the snow-capped mountains, two polar bears suddenly faced each other on a rare piece of land with food. Although they lived alone, each encounter could lead to a fierce collision. These conflicts usually stem from three causes: fighting for mates, competing for food, and shrinking space as the ice melted. An older male was holding the old prey. From a distance, a younger male approached, walking cautiously. Both stood upright, turning around to explore, the air growing heavier with each breath. Then suddenly, they rushed at each other. Strong shoulder thrusts, heavy slaps echoed in the cold snow. They wrestled, retreated, then advanced, each movement using maximum strength. Experience gave the older male the upper hand. It pushed its opponent back, step by step, slowly but surely. Finally, the child was forced to give up, retreating between exhausted breaths. In the shrinking cold land, polar bears not only have to confront prey, but also their own kind in the fight for survival. On the calm ice of the Arctic Ocean, an adult seal is making its way up to the breathing hole. It carries more than 100,000 calories of energy that can feed a polar bear for a week. Although it is fast and agile underwater, its life depends on the tiny breathing holes in the thick ice. Not far away, a polar bear stands motionless behind a snow berm. It has smelled the seal from under the ice. Its sense of smell is so sensitive that it can detect the breath from the wind blowing. The bear keeps low, avoiding the wind so as not to reveal its scent, patiently waiting. It can stand still for hours without a single unnecessary movement. When the seal surfaced the next time, the moment only lasted 1 to 2 seconds. The bear suddenly gathered strength, rushing straight towards the ice hole. A clean, precise attack, utilizing his entire body weight of nearly 1,200 pounds. The ice trembled slightly, water splashed, and silence returned. In the thin frost, the polar bear raised its head. Its breath evaporated in white mist. A successful meal, but not enough to make up for the rapid thaw that shortened the hunting season. Here, one small mistake could mean weeks of starvation on the drift ice. Far out on the ice edge, the water is unusually calm. A pod of belugas is moving slowly, looking for a way out of the shrinking ice. Each weighs between 1,000 and 1,500 kilograms, with fat accounting for nearly 40% of its body mass, a huge energy reserve for polar bears during the long melt seasons. Without a dorsal fin, belugas can easily slip under the ice, but are easily trapped in shallow ice traps. A young beluga has slowed down and become stuck near the edge. It must repeatedly resurface through a small air hole. It is this repetition that attracts the attention of a polar bear wandering nearby. It immediately lowers its body, moves to the edge of the ice, and stands still, listening for its prey's every breath. When the beluga surfaced again, the bear slammed into the water's edge, sending the small whale reeling. In that moment, it struck the head and neck, a weak spot its instincts had learned over years of watching the beluga pods migrate. The beluga struggled to break free, but the bear blocked its escape. Within seconds, the animal was pulled onto the ice long enough for the bear to feast on over the next several days. Though not a common prey species, beluga have become a rare lifeline in years of rapid ice loss. And in this moment, the bear's patience paid off with a complete victory. In the cold northern regions, a pack of Arctic wolves was circling the remaining prey after a difficult hunt. They were organized, territorial, and every bite was precious because their success rate was only about 20%. A male polar bear approached, attracted by the scent of the remaining prey. With a strong sense of smell, it easily located the location from a distance. The wolves were in large numbers, but the bears were large. Both sides immediately formed a confrontational stance. The wolves circled around, growling low, trying to protect their spoils. The bear took another step forward, standing tall to show its power. The wolves joined forces to charge forward, forcing the bear to dodge to the side, but just one strong swing of the head was enough to cause the wolf formation to break apart. The tug of war only lasted a few moments. When the wolf was forced to retreat, the bear stepped in to take the remaining food. There was no bloodshed, just a battle of wits and courage. One side relied on numbers, the other on sheer strength. The encounter on the ice ended, leaving a clear mark of strength and perseverance. In the silent white expanse, every decision carried the price of survival. The polar bear continued its journey, silently, but with unwavering vigilance. And on that cold ice, new stories always waited to begin. In the frozen lands of Alaska, where open forests merge into mist-shrouded valleys, a different rhythm of life is waiting to explode. Every step a grizzly bear makes on the ground is a silent warning to all the creatures around it. From tense confrontations to sudden hunts, the world it inhabits is full of fierce and unforgiving moments. Here, instinct is the only law, and each part of its journey unfolds a dramatic picture of the wild. Summer in Alaska marks the return of one of the most important moments of the year. Hundreds of sockeye salmon swimming upstream. They make their way through steep, cold currents, creating a life-giving current that flows into the heart of the boreal forest. For grizzly bears, this is a vital source of nourishment after months of constant movement. Along narrow stretches of river, grizzly bears choose precise locations where the current is compressed, forcing the fish to exert their strength to pass. At that narrow point, they simply stand still. A quick, clean kick is enough to catch the next fish. There is no rush, just the slow, focused observation that bears are accustomed to. The salmon do more than feed the bears. The carcasses left after the spawning season decay on the riverbanks, providing nitrogen and nutrients to the forest floor. This allows plants to thrive, which in turn leads to an increase in insects, birds, and small herbivores. This cycle connects many layers of the ecosystem, and the grizzly bear's future is tied to this regenerative rhythm. As the afternoon fades to a golden yellow, the grizzly catches another salmon. It stands still for a few seconds, the cold water flowing around its feet, the smell of the river breeze mingling with its warm breath. The constant feeding during salmon season is a worthy reward for a patient summer before the bear enters the long months of hibernation, where its body relies solely on the fat stored from the salmon itself. In an open forest in Alaska, two adult grizzly bears approached each other. Each weighed about 800 pounds, with hunched shoulders and heavy breathing. They had not come to hunt. Today's conflict was about territory and reproductive rights, the two most important values in a grizzly's life. They walked slowly, keeping enough distance to survey. A circle formed, not to fight immediately, but to determine dominance. Shoulders raised, heads lowered, each discreet glance showing strength. After a few turns, both were close. There were no long roars, just shoulder and chest thrusts to test their strength. This was not a war of attrition. They were conserving energy, using force only when necessary, because endurance was the deciding factor in victory or defeat. One gradually slowed down, breathing more rapidly. The other kept a steady pace and gained the upper hand. There was no pursuit. There was no final blow. Only the quiet retreat of the underdog. When the dust settled, the deep claw marks in the ground were the last testament to the natural power and immutable rules of grizzly bear life. On the pale snow of the late afternoon in Yellowstone, a lone grizzly bear stood in the white expanse. Not far away, a pack of more than a dozen Junction Butte wolves had expanded their formation, forming an encircling arc. They did not hide, but walked straight ahead, each individual keeping a steady breathing rhythm and eyes focused on the same target, fighting for the remaining food. The wolves did not charge all at once. They split into small groups, constantly changing positions and applying pressure from multiple directions. A few made feints, just enough to force the bear to turn its shoulders in the direction they wanted. The increasingly narrowing circles made the space around the bear tense, but not chaotic. The grizzly held its defensive stance. Its shoulders were hunched toward the most dangerous direction, each step pounding the snow firmly and slowly. It did not pursue any individual, just held its center. The tactic was unobtrusive but effective. No openings to be cut off, no wasting energy on futile counterattacks. After several rounds of close quarters, the wolves began to slow down. They understood that the bear would not budge and that the food was not worth the price. One wolf's turned first, and the group retreated in an orderly fashion. Finally, the clearing fell silent. The bear did not chase. It just stood there, breathing evenly on the snow, winning with steadiness, and a defense as solid as Yellowstone. Santa Elena Canyon stretches with high rock walls and narrow, slice-like paths. On one incline, a mother mountain goat leads her calf over small stone steps, barely large enough to support a single hoof. They don't run fast, but each step is steady thanks to their absolute familiarity with the terrain. From the bottom of the slope, a grizzly enters the area. It doesn't charge, but pauses to calculate. Its large weight makes the inclined surfaces dangerous. Every time it shifts its center of gravity, the rubble slides down, forcing it to take each step carefully. The mother goat watches from above, keeping a distance just enough to avoid being surprised. The terrain now becomes a natural boundary. The grizzly tries to turn to a wider patch of rock, but its speed cannot overcome the mountain goat's natural advantage. When the chase ends without any close approach, the air is filled with only a sense of hesitation. And the question lingers like a silent thought. If the meeting had taken place on flat ground, would the balance have tipped the other way? In the quiet afternoon forest, the grizzly bear walked slowly between the trees, his body almost blending into the shade. He did not need speed, only patience. Each step was quiet, always focused on the moment that could change the situation. The opportunity appeared when a fawn tripped over a branch, creating a small but enough noise to separate him from the movement of the herd. The The fawn lost its balance for a moment, and that gap became the point the grizzly bear had been waiting for. Without charging, the bear gradually closed the gap with a steady pace. For him, success did not come from sudden strength, but from recognizing the mistake and seizing that unique moment of nature. On a wide prairie near the Yellowstone Dry Creek, a grizzly bear watches a herd of bison from a distance. It takes no time to approach. Only when an adult bison is caught off guard by a momentary change of direction does the bear begin to approach, slowly but deliberately. Its large mass allows it to use the slippery rocky ground and thin layer of cold water to its advantage. As the bear approaches, the bison lowers its center of gravity. Its horns point forward, keeping a distance long enough to gauge its opponent's intentions. The bison counterattacks with short but powerful headbutts, forcing the bear to take a few steps back to avoid losing its balance. The confrontation becomes tense but quiet. Each species uses its natural strengths. At another point, the bear no longer has the upper hand. The bison switches from defense to offense. Its speed on dry ground forces the bear to retreat quickly to avoid a headbutt. The fight didn't last long, but it was enough to show the difference depending on the circumstances. As the two separated, the grasslands returned to silence. There were no invincibles in this land. Every outcome was decided by timing, terrain, and the choices of each creature. In the lowland forests of North America, grizzly and black bears share the same habitat. Territorial boundaries between them are thin, defined only by familiar foraging routes and brush patches. Black bears are light, agile, and very good at climbing trees. In contrast, grizzly bears are large, with shoulders as hunched as boulders and steps as steady as pressing the ground. When both seek the same food source, the difference in strength becomes obvious. If a grizzly takes a step forward and lets out a low growl, the black bear will usually retreat immediately, not out of blind fear, but because it understands that a direct confrontation will only make it worse. In this forest, the difference in power is established simply and decisively.
Probably not. He's probably too fat.
Right? They can't climb trees.
Savanna elephants are among the largest animals on the savanna, standing at about 10.8 feet tall and weighing over 13,200 pounds. Even baby elephants have great natural strength, thick hides, and broad necks that make them difficult to take down by other predators. Lions only attack elephants in special situations, such as when the baby elephants are separated from the herd, injured, or when they have been hungry for too long. A baby elephant, about a year old, separated from the herd while moving towards the water. Its slow pace attracted a group of lions wandering nearby. After several days without food, the lions took a higher risk than usual and approached the baby elephant. They did not see the elephant as a familiar food source, but saw this as their only chance to replenish their energy. The first lion approached from the left. The baby elephant tried to run, but was not fast enough to escape the larger group of lions. As the lion leaped up to grab onto the calf's back, the calf wobbled but continued to head for the water. More lions joined in, creating pressure that slowed it down. As soon as the calf approached the water, the lion's resistance decreased. The water became a safe zone, limiting the lion's ability to grab and attack. After a few unsuccessful attempts, the group of lions stopped. The calf continued into the shallow water and kept a safe distance. When the lion left, silence returned to the grassland. The attack showed that the lion's survival instinct could have made it difficult to take down targets, but the calf's natural strength and its tendency to run towards the water helped it escape danger. The pack of hyenas gathered around the remaining food on the grassland. Each weighed about 90 to 120 pounds, had strong jaws and high endurance, and kept a kill rate of nearly 60%. They relied on cohesion and coordination to compete for food. A male lion weighing over 400 pounds approached from a distance. Lions and hyenas often clashed over food and territory. Lions had superior individual strength, while hyenas had the advantage of numbers. Every encounter between the two species always depended on this difference. The hyenas were so busy eating that they did not notice the lion approaching. When they were a few feet away, the lion charged and attacked the one standing near the edge. The blow severely injured the hyena. The pack of hyenas backed away and quickly regrouped to carry the injured animal away. Hyenas often attack in groups, but when faced with an adult lion, they keep their distance. Just as they are about to close in, two other lions appear, forcing the hyenas to leave the area to avoid losing more members. The lion does not continue the chase and stands watch until the hyenas retreat. When the area is quiet again, the lion leaves. The attack is to eliminate competitors and assert territory, not to find food. Giraffes are one of the hardest animals to take down on the savanna. An adult can weigh over 2,600 pounds and can kick hard enough to kill a lion. Therefore, lions only target young, old, or unwary giraffes. An adult giraffe provides a large amount of meat, but also comes with high risks. At a shallow pool, a giraffe drinks water with its head down. In this position, its defenses are greatly reduced because its front legs are spread out and its neck is lowered. Two female lions nearby observe for a long time before approaching from two directions to limit the giraffe's escape route. As soon as the giraffe begins to raise its head, a lion rushes in from behind and attacks its hind legs, which lions always aim for because this is the most obvious weak point. The remaining lions pressed from the front to apply pressure and force the giraffe to concentrate its defense in many directions. The giraffe returned kicks continuously, but the range of its kicks was narrower due to its unstable stance after bending down to drink water. As the giraffe moved to soft ground, its thrust decreased and its counterattack speed weakened. The two lions continued to apply pressure until the giraffe lost its balance. When the giraffe collapsed, the group of lions immediately controlled the area. This was the result of choosing the right timing and weak points, instead of relying on absolute strength. The moment the giraffe bent down to drink water became the factor that put it in the most disadvantageous position in the encounter. Late afternoon descended on the grasslands as a pack of wild dogs emerged in a tight formation. Each weighed between 40 and 70 pounds, ran at speeds of up to 44 miles per hour, and achieved a kill rate of nearly 80% thanks to their coordinated pack work. Their unity was their greatest strength, but it also made them cautious when faced with larger predators. At the edge of their territory, a male lion weighing over 400 pounds stalked the movements of a pack of pups that had just entered his territory. In the wild, lions and wild dogs compete directly for food, making conflict between the two species frequent. Lions often initiate attacks to reduce their opponents and protect their resources. The lion closed in, closing the distance to just a few feet. The dogs circled around but did not venture forward. When all the noise died down, the lion suddenly rushed forward and locked the weakest one in a short, precise attack. Following herd instinct, the rest immediately retreated to preserve their numbers. Two other lions appeared from a distance, causing the first one to relax and retreat to avoid internal conflict. On the windless grassland, the lion stood still for a long time before leaving. It did not attack to eat, but to assert control of the territory where instinct and survival dictated every encounter. An adult cheetah appears in the open grass, its body light, about 70 to 140 pounds. Cheetahs have superior speed, but are weak in direct competition. They are easily robbed of their prey and are almost defenseless against large predators. The mortality rate of cheetah cubs is very high, of which lions are a significant threat. Not far away, 3 male cheetahs are fighting over a female. Their noise attracts a male lion of over 400 pounds who is patrolling the territory. Lion approaches to check the area. When he spots the group of cheetahs, he does not look for food, but identifies them as competitors that need to be eliminated. When the lion enters close range, the cheetahs scatter in different directions. The female moves slower because she is avoiding the 2 males, so she falls behind. The cheetah prioritizes running, not choosing confrontation. However, when the speed is limited, the chance of escape is almost gone. Lion accelerates and approaches in just a few seconds. The female cheetah limps from the misstep, shortening the distance even more quickly. Lion closes in and holds her tight. Another lion appears behind, reinforcing the pressure, causing the remaining cheetahs to leave the area. When the place is only the lion standing, the space becomes quiet. The attack is to eliminate a competitor in the territory, reflecting the harshness of relationships between large predators in the wild. The migration season is strong on the grasslands. Thousands of wildebeests follow each other in endless lines. This species has good endurance, always moving in large herds to reduce the risk of being hunted. However, during the migration, just one individual leaving the herd is enough to create an opportunity for predators. The female lion watches the herd of wildebeests from a safe distance. It does not approach immediately, but observes individuals that move slowly or deviate from the herd's common rhythm. When it detects a wildebeest leaving the center position, the lion silently lowers its body, choosing to approach downwind so as not to be detected. When the time comes, the lion suddenly accelerates. The chase begins. The wildebeest instinctively tries to run, constantly changing direction to keep the distance. The lion persistently pursues, shortening step by step. After several turns, the antelope loses momentum for a brief moment, allowing the lion to close in and take control. Showing the stark difference between the two species. Antelopes rely on stamina and speed in groups, while lions rely on timing, angle of approach, and explosive power. During migration, every moment can be an advantage or disadvantage, deciding the outcome of a confrontation. Savanna hippos weigh over 3,000 pounds, have fangs about 20 inches long, and bite force over 1,800 psi. They are especially dangerous near water, but are vulnerable when alone or away from safety. Lions only attack hippos in situations where they have a clear advantage, as direct confrontation is always dangerous. A young hippo breaks away from the riverbank and moves along dry land. A hungry male lion watches from a distance and approaches at a steady pace. The hippo's solitude makes it more vulnerable than usual. Lions focus on the neck, which is more vulnerable than the thick, hard body. The hippo tries to fight back by turning and opening its mouth to create distance. However, when a second lion appears, the pressure increases, making it difficult for it to maintain a defensive position. Lion continued to approach from both sides, forcing the hippos to retreat towards the slope, leading down to the riverbank. Not far from the water, the hippos ran with all their might. Lion slowed down as the ground became wetter. The water made them lose their grip and could not continue the chase. The hippos made it to the shallow water and escaped with only minor scratches. The group of lions stopped at the edge of the water. The attack showed that lions only choose to confront hippos when they have the advantage, and proximity to water always gives hippos a higher chance of survival in dangerous situations. In the wild, snake attacks are always sudden and full of tension. Each moment of confrontation has its own emotional rhythm, where the predator challenges its own instinct and composure. Sometimes the snake dominates with speed and surprise, but sometimes it is pushed back by the opponent's quick and strong reactions. Every small movement shows the harshness of nature, where survival instinct decides everything. This is a journey to follow the sharpest and most realistic attacks of snakes. High in the sky, eagles circle with powerful wings and razor-sharp eyes. Snakes are not a mainstay of their diet, only about 2%, but in some areas, the proportion is much higher. When hunting snakes, eagles rely on superior vision, diving speed, and powerful talons to catch their prey before it can react. On the ground, a cobra rears high, poised for defense. The eagle circles, waiting for the right moment. As the cobra climbs up to attack, the eagle dives down at a speed almost invisible to the naked eye. The blow aimed straight at the head immobilizes the cobra instantly. Within seconds, the fight is over. In another area, an eagle spots a puff adder snake slithering through the grass. The confrontation is not a gentle one. Puff adder counterattacked fiercely, injuring the eagle's leg. But after a few beats, the eagle held the snake's body tightly, not letting it escape. The snake tried to crawl away, but the strength of its claws made all efforts in vain. With a strong jerk, the eagle tore the snake into 2 pieces, ending the fight quickly. In the world of eagles, speed and precision are the keys. Just a small mistake can cost them the upper hand. But when everything is perfectly connected, the eagle is always the one to end the battle from the sky. Under the rotten tree stumps, the ants are constantly active. They are small but brave, possess sharp jaws for biting, and, in some species, can even spray formic acid, causing immediate pain to their enemies. In the nest, a simple scent signal can summon hundreds of individuals. The strength of ants is always in numbers. A snake slithers through the leaf litter and tries to squeeze its prey. But just a few seconds later, the ants detect the intrusion. Groups come, biting repeatedly on its body and spraying acid, causing the snake to writhe in pain. It tries to struggle, but the ants come in larger and larger numbers, forcing the snake to release its prey and slither away to find a way out. In another area, a python accidentally comes close to a large ant nest. In just a few moments, the ground shakes as if it is boiling. Hundreds of ants simultaneously rush onto the python's body, biting at many points at the same time. The harder the python tried to roll, the tighter the ants clung. Its speed gradually slowed. Its body began to stiffen from the many bites. If it did not escape in time, such a python could quickly become a food source for the entire colony. In the natural world, it is not the bigger one that always wins, but the one who knows how to use the strength of the whole community. In the middle of the dry, hot bush, a small but agile mongoose stepped out. Only a few pounds, sharp teeth, almost instantaneous reflexes. Living in the same territory with many snake species makes this animal accustomed to sudden conflicts, and most of them have the advantage thanks to their natural resistance to venom. From the layer of dry leaves, a black mamba over 7 feet long suddenly slithered out. It took a defensive stance, but it was the one to strike first. The bite was lightning fast, but the mongoose just tilted its head to avoid it. It did not attack immediately, just waiting for the mamba to exhaust itself. The mamba's venom can kill in a few minutes, but the advantage of resistance allowed the mongoose to calmly keep its distance. When the mamba's speed slowed, the mongoose delivered a precise bite to the back of the head. The snake was paralyzed immediately, ending the life and death confrontation. In another bush, a cobra reared up, defending fiercely. The standoff lasted only a few seconds. The cobra struck first, but the mongoose counterattacked too quickly to see. A single bite, clean and decisive. The snake collapsed, and the mongoose gently dragged the body away. To the cobra, it was just a familiar rhythm of survival in the wild. In the quiet yard next to the porch, a cat walks slowly, its ears constantly turning to each small sound. The cat's reflexes are only 20 to 70 milliseconds, faster than the speed of a snake's attack. Thanks to that, it can avoid the attack and counterattack almost at the same time. From the grass, a snake suddenly slithers out. The cat immediately recognizes the danger. When the snake rushes, the cat jumps back and immediately strikes back with quick and decisive slaps. The two sides change direction constantly. The snake tries to bite, but each time is half a beat slower. In another corner of the yard, a Siamese cat confronts another snake. The tug of war is tense. The cat strikes continuously, forcing the snake to retreat small distances. The snake counterattacks, but is not fast enough to reach the cat. The video stops when the cat has the upper hand, and the snake is gradually retreating into the grass. When all movement stopped, the cat stood still for a few seconds, its eyes still alert. The outcome of the confrontation was not yet clear, but the battle was already in the cat's favor thanks to its superior agility and reflexes. In the dry grasslands, honey badgers walk with a calm but sturdy gait. These small animals are known for their recklessness. Venomous snakes make up nearly a quarter of their diet. Their thick skin, high endurance, and resistance to poison help them survive their frequent encounters with snakes. While hunting, a badger is suddenly wrapped tightly around a python. It struggles, trying to escape, but the grip becomes stronger and stronger. At that moment, two jackals appear to steal its prey. The chaotic interference creates an opening, allowing the badger to escape the grip and engage in a tug-of-war. The three species circle fiercely before the jackals leave. The last badger retrieves the python's body, ending the melee with their usual tenacity. Elsewhere, a badger pursues a long, winding mole snake. The snake counterattacked strongly, biting repeatedly on the neck and back, but the badger's thick skin almost neutralized the bites. After a few minutes of struggling, the snake began to retreat. The badger did not miss the opportunity. It rushed forward, biting straight on the snake's head, ending the fight in just a moment. For the honey badger, every encounter with a snake is a familiar challenge where stubbornness and endurance always help it overcome danger, no matter how strong the opponent. On a sunny lawn, a rattlesnake lay basking, completely unaware that it was being watched. From above, a hawk circled, its sharp eyes locking on every little movement. It waited for the right moment to let the snake off guard. When the moment came, the hawk swooped down in a single breath. A powerful and precise strike aimed straight at the head instantly immobilized the rattlesnake. Everything happened too quickly for the snake to react. Nearby, a red kite spotted a gopher snake slithering through the lawn. The snake twisted and thrashed about, trying to escape. But the red kite held on with its powerful talons, making it impossible for the snake to escape. After only a few seconds of struggling, the snake was lifted off the ground. The red kite flew away with its prey, leaving the empty space where the confrontation had ended. With this bird of prey, speed and precision are always the keys to deciding the battle. In the middle of the dirt yard, a hen shelters her chicks under her wings, her eyes always watching every movement. When three snakes suddenly appear and spread out to surround her, their target is the small chicks behind her. The hen does not retreat. Every time a snake approaches, it rushes up, pecks hard, forcing the snake to retreat. At times, two snakes come from two directions, forcing the hen to constantly turn to both protect the chicks and maintain an offensive stance. The tug-of-war lasted more than 30 minutes, but each snake was pushed back by the mother hen's determination. When all three retreat, a cobra suddenly slithers out. It raises its body high, slowly advancing towards the chicks. But the hen responds immediately when the snake rushes, pecking precisely at the head to keep its distance. There are moments when the snake accelerates, but the hen blocks the chicks and launches many consecutive pecks, forcing the snake to stop. Finally, the cobra gave up and slithered into the bushes. The hen checked on her chicks. All were safe, a victory born of maternal instinct, not strength. On vast grasslands, where sunlight covers the golden grass, lions enter the scene as a symbol of strength and proactive attacks. Each time they face other species, it opens a separate story, where instinct, strategy, and survival boundaries intertwine. The recorded situations show how lions apply their strength to handle challenges from many sides. From the reflexes of prey, the speed of pursuit, to the coordination of the pack, all create the ever-changing rhythm of life in the wild. Buffalo, which can weigh from 500 to more than 1,200 kilograms, are the lion's most abundant source of energy. But they are also the most dangerous prey. Sharp horns, herd strength, and protective instincts make any predator wary. As the herd slowly moves through the dry streambed, they still believe in the safety that the group brings. Hidden in the tall grass, a lone male lion quietly approaches. Normally, lions hunt in groups to reduce risk, but this time, instinct and determination push him to act alone. Buffalo usually rely on the strength of the group to counterattack, but the surprise leaves them no time to react. The lion suddenly rushes out, choosing the one that is slightly separated from the herd. The buffalo ran away, but the lion accelerated, leaped up, and locked its jaws on its neck. The powerful squeeze cut off its resistance, causing the buffalo to collapse in just a few seconds. Weighing over 180 kilograms, and with a burst speed of 80 kilometers per hour in a moment, it overtook its much larger prey. After taking down the buffalo, the lion began to drag its entire body across the dry streambed, displaying its incredible pulling power and locking jaws, the weapons that made it the ruler of the grasslands. When the dust settled, the buffalo herd stood back to watch, but no one dared to turn back. The male lion held his position firmly beside his prey, breathing evenly and slowly for a moment, asserting his absolute superiority in the life and death confrontation between the two strongest species of the savanna. In the world of lions, internal confrontations are always the most unpredictable challenges. They appear when territory is invaded, when leadership is challenged, or when resources become scarce. Although not always dangerously tense, they still put a lot of pressure on even adult males. In the quiet grasslands, 3 male lions were patrolling when they discovered a stranger entering the boundary. They cautiously approached. The confrontation was intense but short-lived, as the intruder proved more resilient than expected and quickly gained the upper hand. Although it maintained the initiative, it also showed signs of fatigue. In the world of lions, even when temporarily gaining the upper hand, such collisions can still cause strength to decrease over time. As the strange male rested under the canopy, the 2 territorial cubs returned. They worked together like a natural alliance, closing in and pressuring the intruder to leave the area. The brothers stood there for a long time, emitting a deep roar to mark the boundary. In the life of a lion, individual strength is important, but the bond between blood relatives is the factor that helps maintain stability and long-term power. Cheetahs are the fastest animals in the world, reaching speeds of over 112 kilometers per hour, but their 35 to 60 kilogram body weight makes them completely vulnerable to lions. Competition between the two species is always present. Lions do not hunt to eat cheetahs. Their main goal is to reduce their opponents and narrow their hunting grounds. In an open area, 3 male cheetahs are fighting over a female. The chaos attracts a nearby male lion. Seeing an opportunity, he pounces. The 3 males scatter and run, but the female reacts slower and cannot escape in time. The lion knocks the cheetah down in a split second. With such a huge difference in strength, the cheetah cannot fight back. This is not hunting behavior, but the lion's way of maintaining its dominance in the area. Elsewhere, 2 cheetahs were walking along the edge of the tall grass. A lioness lurked in the bushes, waiting for the right moment. When they passed, she charged out in a flash. One was held back and fell shortly afterward. The lioness, though not eating the cheetah, was exercising her instinct to control her rival. Gazelles range from 60 to over 110 centimeters tall, are known for their speed of nearly 60 kilometers per hour and their ability to change direction extremely quickly. They are an important food source for many predators, including lions. A single gazelle can feed a pride of lions for hours. On a golden grassland, a pride of lionesses lay close to the ground, crawling slowly through the tall grass. The gazelles in front suddenly spotted them and ran away in chaos. In the panic, one of them slipped and fell into a shallow pit. The nearest lioness immediately rushed forward, capturing the moment when the prey lost its balance. Just a small mistake was enough to end the hunt. In another situation, a blesbok ran away from the first lion and jumped down the edge of the slope. But a second lioness was waiting. It leaped off the ground, leaping nearly 3 meters high, catching the blesbok in mid-air. The lion's rapid acceleration and powerful leaping ability made it a master of close-range ambushes. As the gazelle herd dispersed, the lioness stood over her prey. The grasslands returned to silence, leaving only traces of a chase where instinct, speed, and a momentary mistake had decided everything. African wild dogs, which weigh only 18 to 35 kilograms, are known for their agility and ability to coordinate effectively in packs. They often rely on group tactics to deal with stronger species. In contrast, lions weigh up to 180 to 250 kilograms and sometimes try to eliminate wild dogs to reduce competition in the area. One morning, an older lioness came to drink water. The pack of wild dogs appeared, surrounding her to pressure her to leave. When one individual got too close, the lion reacted and held her for a moment. Immediately, the whole pack joined forces, applying pressure from many directions, forcing the lion to let go. The group tactic helps wild dogs protect their members, especially when facing much larger opponents. Another time, a mother lion led her cub through wild dog territory. The pride is alert and gradually closes the circle. When the distance becomes too close, the mother lion reflexively holds on to an approaching dog, creating space for the cub to retreat. The wild dogs try to pressure their pack to help their group, but when they realize the risk is too great, they decide to retreat. When the area is quiet again, the mother lion stands in front of the cub. These moments show two different survival strategies, one based on group cohesion, the other on the instinct to protect the family. Both reflect how species adapt and survive in a volatile natural environment. Spotted hyenas are often misunderstood as scavengers, but research shows that 60 to 90% of their prey is hunted by themselves, relying on their stamina and ability to chase for long periods. On the dry grass, a pack of hyenas was tearing apart a zebra, completely unaware that they were in the male lion's territory. From behind the bushes, lions appeared. The competition between the two species for food was constant, to the point that both had killed each other's cubs to reduce future rivals. Therefore, if a hyena intruded, the lion could attack at any time. In an instant, the lion rushed forward and hit one at the edge of the pack. The hyena fled, but pack instincts caused the group to immediately turn around, surround, and snarl in retaliation. They coordinated well, demonstrating intelligence and the ability to fight together. The confrontation was short but fierce. The lion used his strength and attack to overwhelm the single target, while the hyena tried to drag his comrades away. One escaped, but the other was seriously injured and collapsed. The hyenas gradually retreated, keeping a safe distance. The lion stood still in the open space, breathing heavily, marking the moment when the collision between the individual strength and the team spirit of two species that always confront each other in nature. Crocodiles and lions are both at the top of the food chain. One dominates the land, the other the water. When they meet on the riverbank, it is always a battle of two different strengths. Crocodiles have thick armor and bites of over 3,000 psi, while lions dominate with their pack strength and control on land. One hot afternoon, a large crocodile was stranded on the bank. Seeing a rare opportunity, a pride of lions moved in to surround it. They used their claws and sheer force of numbers to close in. The crocodile countered with a powerful bite, enough to make any young lion back off, but being stuck on land cost it most of its advantage. Eventually, it turned around, dived into the river, and escaped. On another occasion, the crocodile crawled onto the bank near a group of lions feeding on it. Surrounded, it endured the pressure for nearly 20 minutes. Despite its powerful bite, the crocodile was unable to defend itself against attacks from multiple directions. Eventually, it retreated back into the water. As the dust cleared, a young lion stood guard over its prize. The way the pride handled the challenger showed the lion's clear superiority on land, where their siege tactics have forced even the most dangerous creatures to retreat. Amidst the soft sounds of the grasslands, the image of the lion appears as a strong dot of wild nature. Through each encounter, they show their leadership instinct and how to adapt to countless challenges. Each species that the lion faces has its own strategy, creating a delicate balance in the living environment. When the evening light falls, all movements gradually calm down, leaving behind the mark of a world that operates by instinct and natural order. And there, the lion still maintains its position as the one who walks in calm and majestic.